How are you? How's your evening been? Welcome to to Parenting with Angel Eyes, our Facebook community. So good to have you here with me. For those taking time to watch it, and for those that will watch it later on at their own convenience, because I know how busy the evenings can get. I'd like to say welcome to you. Well, my evening has been busy too. Um, I just actually literally dragged myself away from something I was doing with my girls to do this chat. But I really do love our chats, I really do. And I love this topic. I'm actually trying to implement this topic too with my teens. Can you imagine? Because, like I said, it's something that we have to do continually. It's not just a one off thing. And so happy to talk about it again with you all. And so, sorry again about the internet last week. So, we're going to start again and we're going to focus on babies to toddlers, to the toddlers age. So, we're looking at before they start secondary school. So, let's begin. Now, like I said, tantrums are really on. I'm sure it's when I say it, you're like, really, but tantrums really are really part of often really part of a norm. It's normal for every child that is growing up. It's part of their development, because it's a sign that your child is building that independence. All children have to go from being babies to being independent adults. So it's a sign that they're building that independence because they're learning how to build their coping skills, developmental skills, how to push boundaries. They're learning really basically what their own mind is. They're having that sense of independence. I guess when they say those 2 2 year olds, you hear them. They're like, no, no, no. Everything is no. I can do it. I can do it. You see that a lot when your child turns to a beautiful year of being a 2 year old child. So it's basically a time when they're just learning. Hence, we have tantrums. Hence, we have various behaviors, various different kinds of acting out within our children at this age. And it's a very big topic, but we're going to try and see how we can bring in two tools, because I'm aware of it's such a short session. But this is a topic that we give tools to parents in our Parenting with Angel Eyes masterclass that we offer on occasions. And so I'm going to just do two of the two tools. But you find out that handling big emotions for children and being able to be responsible for their behavior, it's a lot. There's a lot of skills involved. Hence, it doesn't just come just like that. We have to help our children build these skills. And I'm just going to read out a few of the skills that is needed to be responsible for your behavior. You need to be able to know how to have that impulse control, emotional self-regulation, problem solve. You need to know how to delay gratification, how to negotiate, communicate wishes and needs to adults, and know what's appropriate and expected in any given situation. So there are a variety of skills that our children have to learn as they grow older. Hence, it's not something that just comes like that. We as parents or professionals need to teach our children how to handle these big emotions. And you find out that if they haven't learned those skills, that it actually begins to show itself when children become preteens, teenagers, and even adults. Because you find out handling emotions like frustration, anger, anxiety, you find out that some adults don't even know how to do that, and hence they explode. Some are not responsible for their own behaviors or their own actions, because it is a skill. It is something that has to be learned. And so I enjoy this topic, and we're going to learn a few tools. Now, being responsible, there's a term that is used and it's called self-regulation. And I'm just going to read the definition of self-regulation, and I want you to take hold of two words that come up. Now, self-regulation is the ability to understand and manage the words understand and manage your emotions and behavior in accordance with the demands of the situation. Those two words, understand and manage, are so important. That's what we really want to teach ourselves as well as children, how to understand and manage your emotions and your behavior. And it includes being able to resist the temptation to react very emotionally in a way that is upsetting, in any upsetting situation. It's the ability to calm yourself down when you get upset, to adjust to change in expectations, being able to adjust when expectations are not really met, to be able to handle frustrations without an outburst. And it's a set of skills that enables children as they mature to redirect their own behavior in line with the goal, so that despite the situation or unpredictability of the situation, they're able to manage their own feelings. So self-regulation helps children and teenagers learn how to be responsible for their behavior, be able to behave well and get along with others, and become independent. Self-regulation you begin to see it grow rapidly in toddlers and then preschoolers years. So it's something that just continues to grow as they get into adulthood. But if there's a natural self-regulation, true, you see it within babies. When babies are crying for such a long time, some babies are able to self-regulate themselves by just sucking their thumb. That's something that could be either positive or negative depending on the parent. Or you find a child, they may feel distressed or really got an emotion, feeling something within themselves, and they're not able to express because basically they're too young. But they might find out that they might keep on hitting their head or banging themselves against something, just trying to calm down. That's a negative sign of trying to calm yourself down and self-regulate, to be responsible for the emotions that you're feeling in your behavior. But from the age of 12 months, the children start developing self-regulation. And some kids find it very hard to self-regulate. It's maybe because some of these children who are always testing boundaries. It could be because of their temperament or their personality. It could be because of the environment in which they grew up in. Maybe they have adults all around them that, constantly, when they get to anything that they're upset with, they outburst in a very loud way. They're not able to regulate their own emotions, and so children copy them. It could be that also that some of them, probably the parents, they jump in straight away and try to help them calm down, or they what's the word again? They accidentally reward tantrums or give in to tantrums, and tend to try and work so hard to soothe their child whenever they get upset or a kid acts out. And so the parent becomes the external self-regulator. And take for instance, if a child is crying that they want a lollipop or something, and then the child is constantly whining, the parent could either give in, or they might even shout or react because of it. Both things, you're accidentally rewarding the tantrum. So it could be that in a way is how you are basically teaching a child in the wrong way how to self-regulate. So also, if a child has ADHD, again, it's hard for that child to manage and understand their behavior. So you might find that, they might need that kind of extra support to emotionally, to be able to find the skills to emotionally regulate themselves. So based on this and what we're going to talk about, if you can, in the chat right now, just say really what kind of behavior you wish your child would be responsible for. That would help me, because I've got a few examples, but I could use your examples instead, just to make it much more personal for you. So if you have in the chat session, if you have any examples of behaviors you wish your child could, and I'm just going to take a look to within the group itself and see the examples we may wish to have, so that I can use them to chat session. If you have any examples. Okay. All right, so I'll wait for you to put, if you've got any examples, I'll wait for you to put that in. So now, how do we teach self-regulation? One thing that is important, I'm just going to see how we teach it, and I'm just going to list them out. One thing is communication. I think communication is extremely important for us. Why? Because, and it's not really about the words we speak. Also, we have to be mindful of our body language and the tone of our voice. Because, like I always tell parents, your body language and the tone of your voice, they speak louder than words. What you're communicating may not be basically what is read if your facial expression doesn't match or your tone doesn't match with what you're saying. They would actually read your body language and your tone more than they would the words you say. So being able to communicate in a calm and manner with a normal tone is so important as we communicate and teach our children. And also sometimes you might find out that if both of you are triggered or upset, it's not the best time to talk. Why? Because nobody's listening, and you might say the wrong things, or they too might say the wrong things. So it's important to speak to our children and correct them and teach them when we're both calm, when each one is calm. Because if you're not calm, then I'm telling you, you cannot get what you're trying to teach a child. And you yourself, if you're not calm, you will not be able to express yourself in a way that you really wish you could, to be understood. So, and also there are 3 things we want to teach our children when we're communicating to them how to manage their behavior. 3 things we want to say: what went wrong, why, and how can I fix it for next time. Let's use an example here. Let's just say that you've got 2 children, 2 siblings. Maybe one is 5, the other one is 2 or younger, or maybe one is 4 or 3, just depending. And they're both playing with their toys, and then the younger one snatches the toy from the older one. Hence the other one gets angry because it's his toy, grabs the toy from the younger one and hits the sibling. Now you walk into the situation when you see the older one hitting the sibling. Now what could be your reaction? Your reaction could be to trying to teach the child to be responsible. You begin to say, why did you hit your sibling? Don't hit your sibling. Don't hit your brother or your sister. That's not very nice. And then you probably take the toy back and give it to the younger one because the younger one is crying, and you feel like you fixed the situation. Now that's really me. I've done it myself, but really and truly that's not the way we need to teach. Really, we need to be going on with those 3 questions. So you're asking the older one basically what happened, and he probably says, he took my toy. And you go, okay, why? So he took your toy. Okay, so what happened next? Then I took it back, and I snatched it back from him. Okay, and I hit him. Then now you're going to the why did you hit your brother? I understand. First, you affirm their feelings because it was his toy. You affirm his feelings. I know you're the younger one took your toy. That was not really nice, was it? Because it's your toy. But then why did you hit your brother? He goes, then because I was angry. Now we've gotten to the nitty gritty of basically the reason why that behavior occurred, because that's the thing we need to change: how to support our child when they are angry. Okay, you're angry. Well, we all get angry, but being angry and hitting is not nice. What could you have done instead? And then you pause, waiting for your child to think and listening to see if he's able to respond. If he's not, then that's where both of you are working together to find another way, another solution. But if he's able to respond, he might give you clues. Next time I'll tell you, or next time I'm going to use my words. You know, you're allowing them, or both of you, to communicate such that you're giving him the responsibility, and if he cannot, then both of you are talking about what he could do next when he is angry. So he's also beginning to recognize what he feels when he's angry, because that's really what the points that we really want our children to do, because their emotions, they are not able to understand it because they're not adults yet. We know when we're angry. We know, basically, you and I both know when we're angry. When we're angry, we might feel our heartbeat racing. You know, we might feel our temperature going up. There's something that will tell you, you know, you're getting angry right now. You know, you might start feeling a little bit more agitated, and hence, remember what it is when you're trying to self-regulate. You're trying to control the way you handle a situation at any given time. So that's what you're teaching your child there. And then so that next time when he has those feelings, he's able to understand what to do. So another thing, another way with that you can do it is through request and instructions. Now, what do I mean by requests and instructions? Request is when you ask your child to do something. So if I tell my child now, for example, will you help me fold this washing up? Do you want to wear your coat? It's cold today. Your child can say yes or no. That's a request. That's an example of a request. Now, an instruction is, please help me fold this washing up now, or please put on your coat when we go out. It's cold. This is an instruction. So you're not giving your child that ability to say yes or no. And these two are very important to learn. Why? Because when you're instructing a toddler or someone younger, when you're telling them, how can I fix it? It's important that you understand when to use a request and when to use instructions. So I'm going to give you an example here. Now, because if you're not clear, let's just say it's important to be clear when talking or telling your child what to do, because if not, your message can be misunderstood. Have you ever said to yourself when you walk into a untidy kitchen, why can't anyone help me tidy up in here? You know really what you want. You want the kitchen to be tidy, but your child may not understand what you're trying to say in that situation. They probably just think, oh, mom is grumbling about a kitchen. So without it being clear, then it's very hard to get them to be responsible. So we want those three things again. We want to be able to say what went wrong, why, and how can I fix it for next time. I'm going to give you an example with the kitchen. So we're grumbling about the kitchen. You're always constantly trying to say, this kitchen is messy. Why doesn't anyone tidy it up for me? Now you stay again. What went wrong? The wrong thing that went wrong is the kitchen is messy. Now you're finding out why. Why do we always leave the kitchen messy? They'll come up with the whys. You're trying to understand really and truly what's going on. Is it that they're too busy, or is it that they just don't feel like it? What is really going on in their heart as to why the reasons why this kitchen is constantly messy? Yeah. So is it that they're lazy? There are things that you need to find out the reason why. Why is it that the cups are always left there? Oh, mommy, I find it so hard to just put it in the dishwasher. Or I really wish we could do something. Then you find out a little bit of laziness is coming here. So the whys are really what you want. You want to understand really what's going on. Then how can we fix it for next time? Now, the whys are the things in which, if it's laziness, you're looking for ways to teach a child that laziness really isn't a good habit, it's not a good skill, it's not something to have. What does the Bible talk about laziness? All these are the things that you need to know, that these are the things that I need to work with my child, because it's not really about the kitchen, it's about dealing with the word laziness. So these are the things that you need to be able to say, okay, I now have it at the back of my my mind, that I need to teach my child how to be skillful, how to be not to be so lazy. You know, the reasons why the Bible says that even if ants are never lazy, they fix their mind and they work together to get a plan. What does the Bible talk about laziness? You know, that's the things you know to talk. So then after that, you find out, how can I fix it for next time? So probably brainstorming together, finding out ways in which we can keep the kitchen. Maybe they'll tell you, okay, next time, this is what you're going to do, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. And then having it all laid out somewhere clear, visible for them to see, so that when they walk into the kitchen, they already know, basically, these are what we've agreed, so that then if it's not adhered to, you know what to do next time. So, and then when you see your child not really necessarily cleaning the kitchen, because really that is not the why, but when you see your child not being lazy, there's a lot of praise going on, a lot of affirmations going on. You're trying to build that character, build that sense of responsibility within them, praising them for when you see they're hardworking, you know, letting them know that, oh, you're really good at, you know, with what you do, maybe not only in the kitchen, but in other areas of where they're doing it. Another thing that can help is maybe having daily routines. For instance, a routine can help your child get through repetitive daily tasks. And routines can also be very helpful for young children, especially children with additional needs. So if you need to have to make it a daily routine, so that maybe, okay, when you come from school, we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this. And you've got maybe the visual aids that you've written out, and you've put it clearly there. So when we come from school, this is what we do first, then this is next is what we do, and then this is what we do. You're teaching your child then how to be responsible by making it a daily routine. Or even like when you come from school, the first thing you do is wash your hands. Now, maybe if they're struggling even with washing their hands, then we use soap, and when we finish using soap, then we use water, we wash our hands, and we dry them. So you've got the visual cues out there. You've talked about it with your child, and you've made it easy for them, and then you're praising them and affirming them for when you see that they're doing a good job. And also, it could be also that you're making it into a game. Games are extremely good too. Maybe if you make it into a song. I remember when I worked in the nursery, whenever we sang a song, it's tidy up, tidy up, tidy up, toys away, tidy up, no time to play. You find out that all the kids, once they hear that tidy up, oh, they know exactly what time it is, and they're putting the toys away. We've taught them where to put them in, and it's a game, so they're not feeling like, oh, and you hear them singing the song, it's tidy up now, it's tidy up now, tidy up, toys away. You can also make it fun, so make it into a game. So we've talked about giving clear instructions and communication. Those are very important. Now also, ensure when you're trying to teach your child how to fix it, or even when you're talking to your child, make sure you have your child's attention. You can start off with your child's name. Make sure you're crouched down low. Again, beware of your body language, and making sure that you might even have to ask your child to repeat the instructions back to you. And again, visual aids is extremely important. Use clear language when you speak, and depending on the child's stage of development, and also depending on the child's needs. I always tell parents, when you say the word no running, some kids, all they hear is running, and they continue saying, even though you're saying no running, they're still running, because no is an abstract word, and they may not even understand you don't mean no. No is no for you. You know clearly what no means. But for them, if you say, can you walk, please? That is much more clearer to a child than no running. Instead of saying, don't leave the gate open, you say, can you close the gates? Close gates, please. Again, that is much more clearer. Be positive. Positive instructions also help your child, like I said, instead of using no. Give instructions sometimes that include options, and just 2 options. When you're telling your child, maybe you're struggling with bath time, and they always want to play with their toys and put so many toys. So you're giving them 2. Okay, when it's bath time, we're only going to use 2 toys. Which toys would you like us to use? Or we're only going to use 1 toy. You either choose this one or you choose this one whenever it's bath time. So you're only giving them just 2 options. That in itself can help it, so that when it's bath time, they don't go around and put all their toys into the bath, and so it's much more easier to handle. So again, try and then include just options again if you need to, and be prepared to repeat yourself over and over again. Like I said, it's a skill that needs to be learned, so you might find that they're not really understanding it. And we're going to talk about some of the reasons why some children probably don't understand what can we do next time. That part is still a struggle, so we're going to talk about that once we finish. And then also, consequences are important. From the age of 3, children begin to understand consequences. So maybe if you say they're crying, that they want to paint, but they haven't tidied up their toys, you say, okay, unfortunately, you cannot paint until the toys are tidied up. What did we say about tidying your toys? You could tell them to look at the visual cues again if you have them, or you get them to repeat the instructions that was given, and they're repeating that, and then they understand that there's a consequence for their behavior. So they understand that, okay, so we're not going to be able to paint until I put my toys away. So from the age of 3, children are able to understand what consequences really are. So be firm and consistent. It helps your child to understand that they're part of a family. It helps them to understand that, that it helps them to avoid discomforts or not getting what they want. Yeah. And role modeling is also equally important. We are role models. Children learn by watching you. So how do you deal with your emotions? How do you deal with your behavior? Let them see. Like, for instance, like I used an example last time, you could be struggling with let me just say, a jar, how to open it. Are you one that is not opening and you're banging it and you're using all kinds of languages? Or, are you trying to say, you let them hear that you're struggling. I'm a bit frustrated now, and they can see what frustration means, because you're really struggling to open it. You know what? I'm going to, instead of still doing this, I'm going to get something else to help me and open this lid. So they're seeing how you deal with behavior. They're seeing how you react, how you control yourself in any given out time. How do you deal with behaviors with your husband or your wife? How do you deal with behaviors with people, that they need to be able to see you, because there's no need you telling your child about how to deal with a behavior when they're angry or anxious or depressed, when they cannot see it within you. So there are many reasons why a child might not cooperate. One may be that you're expecting more than they can do. So it's like if you find out that, okay, you've said it, even the consequences are not working, it could be that it's really something too much for them to handle. Let's just say you're as a parent, you want your child to be ready and dressed in the mornings for 7:30, because that's when you leave. And you find out that it's always a hassle, you're always having to talk to them, and there's a lot of screaming and shouting before you leave the door. All right, so talk about it. What are the reasons? Maybe you need to break it down. So they probably say, okay, let's start with getting up at least. So probably they have to wake up at 6 o'clock. So start with that. Are they able to manage that? Once they're able to manage that, praise them for that. We've gotten over that hurdle. Now the next one now is getting dressed and ready, so you can have breakfast. So that getting dressed and ready may mean brushing your teeth, putting on your clothes, and then so you can have breakfast. But you find out that even getting dressed and ready is a struggle. So break it down again. So let's just even talk about brushing your teeth and having a bath. Let's just focus on that part then. Again, once they're able to get over that, then they've gotten over that hurdle, then you do the next one, getting dressed. Then you see, so you're breaking down them into smaller chunks, so that once they're able to do that, you find out that eventually you get ready at 7:30, because you're dealing it in little tiny bits with them. So another reason may be that they could be tired or hungry, but you want them to clean the room. So you could say, after dinner, then I want you to clean the room. That's much more easier, because now they're not tired and they're not hungry. So the why could be that they're tired, or no, they're hungry and tired. So they're not able to tidy up the room. So okay, the timing is not right then. So okay, when you finish eating, then I want you to go and tidy up your room. Yeah. So, or some children, they're at that stage where they're refusing to cooperate at all. Again, being consistent and firm is very, very important, and making sure that we focus on the right things first of all. No, it's a natural phase for a child, like I said, but then being persistent and then looking at the reasons why. Now, other things is that a child may have additional needs, yeah, and so you might have to even educate them, people that support them. Maybe you've introduced something new that needs to be passed on to them in school, so that both of you are working together on the same thing. And so you probably have to talk to the people in school, say, hey, I've just introduced this to my child, so whenever they're doing it in school, can you also work alongside with me? Or maybe finding out what they're doing in school and incorporating it again at home. That helps your child to be responsible, so that there is continuity and there's consistency. So that's very good. Now, most children, again, they don't mind the attention, be it negative and positive. So be careful that you're not rewarding the negative behavior. Or you may also notice patterns of behavior in your child that crop up at certain times, maybe like during bedtime or during certain tasks like their homework. So is it that they're not understanding the homework itself, and then you might have to find out the reason why. So you've basically understand again, you know, those 3 questions: what went wrong? What went wrong is probably that it's at bedtime, or they're not, it's at certain tasks like during homework. That is the what went wrong or why. Or with certain people, so you're finding out, this only happens with certain people. I wonder what's going on. Or you may notice that your child is acting up particularly when either they're at school but not at home, or vice versa, when they're at home and not at school. These are little tiny telltale signs for you. Is there abuse going on? Is there bullying going on? Your little telltale signs again for you that you need to be aware of. So, or if your child is constantly crying during dinner time, is it because they're tired? Again, like I said, you might have to change the dinner time. So those are little things that we need to be aware of when we're trying to get our child to be responsible for their behavior. Now, I'm aware of the time. Like I said, I can discuss this topic on end, but I hope I've given you the tools, some tools to use to help support your child and being responsible. Remember those 3 questions that you want to be asking yourself: what went wrong, why, and how can we fix it for next time? It's been nice speaking with you, and I really wish you a very good evening. Remember that there is no perfect parent, neither is there no perfect child, and with God's help, God rewards our labor of love. So just continue to pray. God will give us the strength and the wisdom to be able to support our children and ourselves, to be responsible for our behavior. Have a good evening, and God bless you. Bye-bye.